everybody. This is Becca from Empowering Pumps and Equipment. Today, we are going to talk about SMRP and their 29th annual conference that's taking place on October 25th through the 28th. Today, I have Adrienne and Paul with me, and they're going to introduce themselves. Adrienne, why don't you go first?
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, and good to be with you today. I'm Adrienne Messer, and I am the chair of this year's annual conference. So I'm super excited about that, and super excited to be back face to face with everyone. So looking forward to a great event in St. Louis.
Absolutely. What about you, Paul?
I'm Paul Casto, and I'm actually the chair of SMRP, and really excited about this year's conference after being virtual last year, and the attendance looks very well. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody in St. Louis, and come on and join us, and we'll have a good time and learn a lot.
Absolutely. I think we're all very excited to be back to in-person events. And I personally will not be at the show, but Charlie will be. And I know she's very much looking forward to it. And we like the show. We've been really happy to be able to support you guys over the last couple of years.
Awesome. Thank you.
So why don't you tell me how you got into the industry? Do you want to go first, Adrienne?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Yeah. So, I was recent graduate. I was a 2001 graduate of Clemson University. So right out of college, and just began to explore opportunities and came across a job ad for a company called UE Systems. And so it sounded interesting to me. So I interviewed and applied, then interviewed, and that was October the 6th, 2003. So I've been in the industry for just a little over 18 years. I don't have a very glamorous story how I got into the industry, but so I couldn't imagine doing anything different. When people ask me what I do, I tell them I live the TV show How It's Made. I get to go out into a lot of different plants and factories and see a lot of cool things, and in turn get to learn a lot. The people in our industry, they love to talk about what they do, how they make their products and their processes. So it's just a great industry to be in, and it's a lot of fun.
I agree. It is a lot of fun. And I love that you said about the show How It's Made, because I love that show. Like, that's actually what I think started like the gears in my head of realizing that I enjoyed this industry and this is where I wanted to be. Because you look at those things when you're younger and go, oh, that's why I always liked that show.
Yeah.
Paul, what about you? How did you get in the industry?
Well, I actually started out in the aluminum industry years ago, and I found out I had a real knack for troubleshooting equipment and figuring out, the logic of, and that was in the day of it, everything was break fix, back in the day. And so there was a lot of need for that. I did 2 or 3 other things. I worked construction globally and really enjoyed being around equipment. But I did a startup with a couple of partners. I had a couple of friends who had a business, and they were doing lean manufacturing, and they started leaning out different processes and realizing the equipment wouldn't run. They couldn't produce after they took all the whip out. And so we started a company doing maintenance management and reliability engineering. And one thing led to another. I sold that company, moved to Eastman Chemical, which was a great assignment. Worked there for a number of years, and then with Meridian, and really had the opportunity to do some academic work over those years. Really got focused around maintenance, reliability, asset management, all of those kinds of things.
That's awesome. I wish that was my story. I just fell into it because I needed a job after I graduated college, and the only person that I could find a full-time job was with Fastenal selling nuts and bolts.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
Everybody needs nuts and bolts.
That is true. That is true. Oh, I love it. Thank you both for sharing that. And, on the topic, of course, of SMRP, why don't one of you tell me what the mission of SMRP is?
Sure, I'd be glad to talk to you about that. SMRP's been around for a while. I think we started back in early 90s. The group did. And it was in those days, the byline was by practitioners for practitioners, right? And there was no other real organization like that. And we've grown into a global organization. Then in the early 2000s, we started with our certification program around CMRP and those kind of things. And today, we're about 7,000 members globally. We're a global organization. I think we have members in the last count I had was 16 or 17 countries around the world that we have members. So our mission really is to develop and promote excellence in maintenance, reliability, and physical asset management. We're really focused on that. We're focused on delivering things that our members could use, really tools, everything from best practice metrics to body of knowledge, to developing some partnerships with other organizations that can bring additional information in. But that's really our mission, is to promote excellence, and we're trying to do that globally.
That's awesome. I love that mission, to promote excellence, and you really do it by knowledge. At Empowering, that is very important for us to share that industry knowledge out, and to be able to help educate people. So that definitely resonates with us on our team.
Yep.
So what can people expect from the event this year?
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, so we're excited to be back face to face, where, as Paul mentioned, everything was all virtual last year, which was a first for the SMRP conference. This year is another first, so we will be back face to face, but we'll also have a virtual component. So we're really excited about that. So we have selected some sessions that will be live streamed. So for those that won't be able to come to the face to face event, they still will have access to some of those sessions. And we're excited about that because last year, because it was all virtual, one thing that we noticed was we had an increase in presence of international attendees. So we're hoping to get those folks back, because it was a lot of their first time experiencing the SMRP conference. So we feel like those folks will be back with us. So again, that's why we wanted to have that virtual component this year. So we'll have, of course, the 5 tracks that are centered around the 5 bodies of knowledge, which are, business management, workflow process, equipment reliability, organization and leadership, and work management. And then we also have our track that's going to be dedicated to all things IIoT, which we're super excited about. And that includes even our keynote this year, which is Eric O'Neill, who is a former FBI counterintelligence and counterterrorism expert. You may also know him from the movie Breach from a few years ago. That book was kind of inspired by his story. So he's going to be our keynote, and then our closing panel is also going to be focused around IIoT as well. So we're super excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think we're streaming 30 sessions. 30 of our sessions, I think, was the number. Is that right, Adrian?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so a good number.
Yeah,
I think that's wonderful.
And I can assure you, you're going to enjoy the keynote, and everybody's going to be running out checking their computer software to make sure they're protected by the time we get done with that lecture.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I appreciate that sentiment of, still keeping both for those people, especially the international people, but even, people that can't travel, that aren't able to take off work, or for whatever reason, just aren't able to actually come to the in-person event. I think that having a virtual aspect is very valuable for people, as well as, of course, the in-person. But I really think doing both is going to be, moving forward, we're going to continue to see that, because then you're going to have more attendance. You're going to have more people being able to absorb and have access to that information that maybe wouldn't otherwise be able to travel and be there in person.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, I'll have you start. Any favorite sessions or speakers that you're looking forward to this year?
Wow. There are what I would consider to be the superstars in our industry. Of course, they're all going to be back with us face to face. So I hate to single anyone out, but if you just look at the list of speakers, you'll recognize a lot of those names from some of the there are authors. So for our certifications like CMRP, CMRT, a lot of those speakers have books under their names. So you'll get to hear one-on-one from those authors, and they'll get to share their experiences. So it's just going to further add to the experience of being, at the conference, whether face-to-face or virtually. I can't single one out, but again, if you just look at the agenda and look at some of those names of some of our speakers, and we've got a lot of people that are regulars that are all coming back this year that will be on that agenda. So we're again just excited to have a great lineup of speakers. We're just very fortunate again in our industry to have such great and talented people who are willing to come share their information and for the help and benefit of others.
Yes, and I will say that you guys do have like a stacked lineup of thought leaders in your space. And for us, we are connected to the maintenance community, Upkeep, and what they do online. And so we have some speakers as well that we're looking forward to from that community itself. But they're the people that are continually putting out educational and helpful information, and it's great to be able to see them continue on that journey.
Yeah, for sure.
And not only do we have a great lineup of regular speakers on Monday and Thursday of the week, we have a really good lineup of workshops. So I don't want to single any of those out, but if you're coming, I would really encourage you to get involved in some of those workshops. You'll be with some real industry leaders in those workshops. There's always good takeaway material. Our objective is to present material that you can take, and when you go back to work the following Monday, you can start applying that material. So both Monday and Thursday has a full lineup of workshops, and I encourage you to participate in those if you can.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for your time and being able to educate our audience a little bit more about SMRP and why they should be attending. And definitely, if you're not able to attend the in-person show, you want to make sure to take advantage of the virtual aspects and, to be able to just absorb all that knowledge and connect with the community, because that's also very valuable and so needed.
Well, we appreciate all the support from yourself and Charlie and from Empowering Pumps. It's much appreciated.
Of course. And thank you so much. And, Paul, last words you want to say?
No, we are really excited. Thank you for the opportunity to tell some listeners about the conference. And we've got 2 weeks. So if you haven't registered for the conference, there's plenty of time to get registered either in person or virtually. And for our international members, as Adrian mentioned before, we're really excited to be offering a hybrid session, so you can join that as well. So come and join us and see what you can learn.
Yep.